G'day, I'm Hato, head brewer for Malt Brewers, and this is how we brew our beers. Malted barley is milled into smaller particles. This is called the grist. The grist is then added to hot water in the mash tun to extract those lovely sugars from the grains. Sweet wort is separated from the grain at this stage. This is done through a lauter tun where we have a false bottom, extract all those lovely sugars from the grain. Spent grain gets sent out as cattle feed. We pump the sweet wort in the kettle and crank up the heat to 100 degrees for about 60 minutes. There's a couple of stages we add the hops. We don't add them early in our XBA, we add them later so we get that lovely aroma in the finished beer. Hot sweet wort is then pumped into another tank at high velocity to create a whirlpool. Just like stirring a hot tea, the whirlpool separates the boiling liquid from the hops as they collect in the middle of the vessel. The hot clarified wort in the whirlpool is still about 90 degrees, and this kind of heat will kill any yeast that's needed to ferment the sugars. So we pump the wort through a heat exchanger, cool it down, depending on what style, could be between 12 to 22 degrees. In the fermentation tank, this is where the magic happens. The yeast converts all those sugars that we've created into heat, CO2, flavour and alcohol. Dry hopping is such an important part of the process. If you want aromas in your finished product, this is where it happens. You can either do it warm or cool, depending on what type of beer we're doing. It's dry hopping, is where you get the maximum aroma. The filter removes any yeast. Haze and hops creating a nice bright beer. On the flip side, not filtering the beer can also make a nice hazy beer like our delicious XBA. Quality control, this is one of the most important parts of the brewing process. To get good quality, consistent beer, we check for alcohol, CO2, haze, colour, but the most important part is the taste test. If it's no good, it doesn't go out to the customer. Once the beer has received its final tick of approval, it's now ready to go into cans or kegs. Then it's ready to head off to the customer. And that's how we get our delicious beer. Time to can on responsibly.